The Subway Postgame Show. Served fresh by Subway Restaurants.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back inside Studio 43 in the Subway Postgame Show. I'm James Brown, full house here with Tony, Coach Bart, and Boomer. Folks, we'd like to let you know you can also catch us online. Watch the Subway Postgame Show at cbssports.com. And a reminder, up next, the road to the Final Four continues right here on CBS, featuring a top 20 Big Ten matchup between number 13 Wisconsin and number 20 Purdue. Boom.
All right, Jim, you can see right here, 30-12, Steelers over the Dolphins. They will now go visit Kansas City next Sunday. That means the Houston Texans will visit the New England Patriots on Saturday night right here on CBS.
All right, boom. It is time now to take a look at our player of the game, presented by Auto Trader. And is there a surprise? Steelers running back Le'Veon Bell.
167 yards. When you look at this, you realize just how important he is to this offense, because Ben Roethlisberger only attempted 18 passes in this game, and 2 of those went for interceptions against the Miami Dolphins, and he also took some pretty good hits by the Miami Dolphin defensive line. But you can just see Le'Veon Bell. You know what he reminds me of, guys? The great Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen used to run just like this, very upright, very patient, would pick and choose his spots, and once he found an opening, he would accelerate through it. Who could forget the great run that he had in the Super Bowl? Kind of the same thing. Just wait, and boom, right through the hole.
So, Coach, take a look at the AFC playoff picture now.
Yeah, again, we have Houston visiting New England. A rematch also from earlier in the season. Same place, Houston at New England. Pittsburgh traveling to Kansas City. Remember, that first game was played in Pittsburgh.
So another kind of like reversal here. You have a little revenge on the side of the Kansas City Chiefs. Over in the NFC, you can see that Atlanta will be hosting Seattle next Saturday at 4:35. A huge game for Matt Ryan to go against one of the best defenses in football. And then, of course, the winner of the upcoming game here between the Giants and the Green Bay Packers will visit the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday at 4:40.
All right, so as we take a quick look back at this game we just watched, I know Ben Roethlisberger was in the game late. Not sure what his health is. I'm sure we'll find out in just a bit. But your questions about him being in the game late, Bart?
Well, you know, Ben Roethlisberger is a guy who wants to start and finish with his team. You know, I wouldn't have had him in the game so late. But you could also go back and give Antonio Brown a lot of credit as well. Antonio Brown really opened up the running lanes for Le'Veon Bell, because early in the game it was Antonio Brown that really had the big plays, and there weren't deep shots down the field. They were short passes, safe passes that Ben gave us and put the hands in the ball, put the ball in the hands of his playmakers, and he did it, and he put it on the show. You talk about 5 for 124.
And you're looking ahead. I mean, Pittsburgh going to Kansas City. And Kansas City, again, they came into Pittsburgh on a Sunday night, and they got beat 36-0 after 3 quarters. So I'm going to tell you something. Going into Kansas City, this is one of those ones right now. Andy Reid, they would like to now, kind of like when Pittsburgh lost to Miami, and Miami had to come to Pittsburgh, Kansas City will be waiting for him. This will be a tough game for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and you know what? Going back to that question, too, if I was, the roles were reversed and I was a coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I don't think that I would have had him in here. You look at here on this sack by Cameron Wake and the pick and the interception right here. This is one of those cases, 30-12 right there, 4:24 left in the game. It's just, I don't know if you can look back. I'm sure hindsight is always 20/20. But going forward, Pittsburgh going to Kansas City, where Andy Reid in the playoffs, you give him 2 weeks to prepare for a team. He is 3-0 in the playoffs, 19-2 overall coming off a bye week. So I just think it's going to be a tough challenge. Hopefully Ben can get healthy so we can have a good football game in the playoffs.
Ben thrives in these type of moments.
That's right. You know, but the one thing I will say about the Miami Dolphins, how about Jarvis Landry? He had today 11 catches, over 100 yards. You know, they have a lot of good young players moving forward. Their defense was injured. Ryan Tannehill was injured. I give Matt Moore a lot of credit. He had a good, solid game, but he made a couple key errors, and they missed a couple blitzes that should have been easily picked up if they were a little bit more prepared offensively.
Don't worry, we will pick Coach Cowher's brains a bit more as the Subway postgame show continues right after this.
Pre-game show.
Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and artificial intelligence on the battlefield, followed by new episodes of NCIS Los Angeles, Madam Secretary, and Elementary. That's all tonight, only CBS. And our friends at Subway want you to know that you can get the steak and cheese footlong right now for only $6. Subway's steak and cheese is free of any artificial flavors. It's lean, thinly sliced, seasoned steak piled on top of freshly baked bread and topped with cheese. Oh, Coach, that sounds good. Try it with Chipotle Southwest sauce for a kick. All Boomer for just $6, but only for a limited time.
JB, they had these outside for the crew. It was like a goal line standout.
It was gone. Go ahead,
How about
Boomer,
the killer bees right here? Take a look at this. What a first half these three guys had. The first time that they've ever played in a playoff game together. You can see Le'Veon Bell, 167 yards, and our Tracy Wolfson met up with Le'Veon Bell right after the game.
Well, congratulations, Le'Veon, 167 rushing yards. Your first playoff experience. No nerves, huh?
No, not at all. You know, those guys up front did a great job opening holes for me. Ben putting us in the right place. The receivers blocking on the edge, you know, it was a total team effort.
The last time you faced this Miami team, 222 rushing yards they had on you guys. Was that extra motivation, especially for you to come out and do what you did?
Yeah, you know, last time we felt like we didn't play well. You know, I mean, those guys got after us. They jumped on us early. You know, the defense played, you know, great today, you know, stopping their run game, making it tough on 23 on their side. He's a great runner. And us on the other side, we want to control the ball, move the ball, score some touchdowns, you know, and we did our job today.
What about you're on to Kansas City week 4? You guys did a great job against them, but this one is in Kansas City in that playoff atmosphere. What can we expect from that one?
You know, they're going to have the same type of mindset we had coming into this game. You know, they understand it's a rematch. You know, we kind of gave it to them last game, so they're obviously going to have a different mindset coming into this one. So we obviously got to come in with the same mindset that we got to, you know, do whatever we can to come out of there with a win. It's a tough place to play in. You know, I played there, and, you know, it should be fun.
Thanks a lot. Congratulations.
All right, congrats indeed. Hey, Justine and Andrea ran away with our Subway food. What's the deal?
It's the crew, JB. They're hungry. They've been here all day.
The Subway postgame show will continue after this.
Wow.
The Subway postgame show. Served fresh by Subway restaurants.
And welcome back to Studio 43 and the Subway postgame show. And a reminder, our playoff coverage continues Saturday, beginning with a special playoff edition of the NFL Today. That'll be coming your way at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Then it's divisional round matchup as DeAndre Hopkins and the Texans take on Tom Brady and the Patriots. Special primetime showcase right here on CBS. And we get set now for final thoughts from our guys, starting with Agent Francis.
Yeah, well, looking forward to that game next week. New England going against the Houston Texans. You got to believe that Houston, to have any chance of winning this game, Brock Osweiler has to play like he did yesterday, not turn the ball over and lean on that defense, run the ball with Lamar Miller, and get the ball in DeAndre Hopkins' hands, because otherwise Tom Brady is playing at a very, very high level right now. It's going to be a tough challenge for that defense to go there and stop him from putting up those big points.
We were up there for the Thursday night game with CBS, and Jacoby Brissett was the quarterback, not even Tom Brady. But I agree with you. I think this comes down to Lamar Miller trying to shorten the game. That's the best defense they're going to have against Tom Brady, and lean on this defense. This defense is better now than it was back earlier in the season, but I'll tell you, it is a tall task going up to New England.
Well, you talk about the #1 defense in the NFL in Houston. You talk about the regular season is where you make your name, the playoffs is where you make your fame. And I think people are starting to realize that Whitney Merciless is a hell of a football player. You talk about 2 sacks last week. Jadeveon Clowney, they're going to have to try and get pressure on Tom Brady and make it uncomfortable, get him off his spot.
You know, the one thing for Pittsburgh going to Kansas City next week, look, all of their stars came to play, especially in the first half. Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, they're on a different level than most athletes in the NFL, but Kansas City has a number of those athletes as well. One of those guys being Tyreek Hill, one of the most exciting young football players in the NFL that has basically turned games upside down when he has the ball in his hands, whether on offense or on punt returns. So Pittsburgh's going to have their hands full regarding him. And I'd also think that, you know, they can run the ball and they can be effective. And you talk about playing out in Seattle in front of the 12s, right? Well, Arrowhead has come in as the loudest stadium in the NFL. They have great fans. It's going to be an opposite effect of what Pittsburgh had today at home in that environment. And if there's 3 guys that can go in there and win, it's the 3 guys, Brown, Bell, and Roethlisberger.
Let me go back to Coach's interview with Mike Tomlin real quickly, too, because Tomlin talked about physicality. You always talked about imposing your will. These guys look stout today. Coach, and you said Ben recognizes this window is closing. There's a real motivation.
Yeah, there is. I think Le'Veon Bell said this best to Tracy Wilson at the end. He recognizes the rule is reversed right now. They put a whipping on Kansas City. You don't forget those things. I think a lot of the onus is also going to go on this defense. They've played very well in this 8-game winning streak. They need to come up with big plays again next week and have a chance to beat this team in Kansas City, because this is a good Kansas City team.
Bob Sutton is going to challenge his defense to step up and put it on their back. Bob Sutton has seen this before. He'll have a great game plan next week when he goes against the Pittsburgh.
And the offensive line from the Pittsburgh Steelers, they played really, really well today.
For Boomer Esiason, Bart Scott, Coach Bill Cowher, and the man in Triple X, I'm James Brown. We'll see you next week.
Tony,